I am deeply convinced that there is no other way to deal with global challenges but with global responses.
All things are possible. Shared problems, shared solutions. Join the global conversation. Let's shape the future together.
Today, we face a global pandemic, and worldwide, people rightly raise their voices against racism. Confronting problems is a start, but we also have to solve them. We have a timeless guide to tackle our shared challenges and fix the world's fragilities. The guide is the United Nations Charter. The Charter was signed 75 years ago, and its principles ring just as true today. Facing fundamental human rights, the equal rights of men and women, the dignity and worth of every person, international law and the peaceful settlement of disputes, better standards of life in larger freedom. These enduring values will carry us to a new future. A future where we stop harming the natural environment and start tackling climate change. Where we reject bigotry and celebrate the richness of human diversity. Where young people lead in the streets, in their schools, in society. The United Nations was founded before threats like cybercrime and online hate speech emerged. But our Charter shows how to rise to these challenges too. Let us realize this vision of peace, human rights and justice for everyone by joining together with humanity, with unity, with each other.
Hello, good morning and good evening to everyone.
Morning.
Today we are going to organize and start our UN 75 years side event. The title of this session will be a sustainable ocean economy to achieve United Nations SDGs, opportunities and challenges. You know, the year 2020, United Nations is marking its 75th anniversary. This anniversary provides a much needed opportunity to reflect on the direction of the United Nations and ensure it is built to address the global challenges of the 21st century. This year, the theme of the Assembly is the future we want, the UN we need, reaffirming our collective commitment to multilateralism. You know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, most of the event has taken place is primarily in virtual format with pre-recorded statements by heads of the state and the government. It is our pleasure that GreenTech Foundation Bangladesh, the partner organization of United Nations Global Compact and United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network, SDSN, today is going to organize a discussion session on a sustainable ocean economy to achieve UN SDGs, opportunities and challenges as a side event of UN General Assembly to mark the 75th anniversary of United Nations. Ocean, seas and marine resources are central to the delivery of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including the Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainability of the ocean resources is a global priority. The challenges of the ocean economy are global and will require global solutions framed within national and regional priorities. Ocean, seas, and lakes support human well-being and livelihoods and underpin poverty eradication, food security, employment, industry, innovation, sustainable communities, health, tourism, and protection from natural disaster, and counter the impact of climate changes as carbon reservoirs. However, human activities continue a threaten ocean and seas and marine resources with detrimental long-term impact for humanity and the planet. A sustainable ocean economy seeks for promote seeks to promote economic growth, responsible production and consumption, social inclusion, and the preservation or improvement of livelihoods, while at the same time ensuring environmental sustainability of the ocean and the coastal areas through the circular economy. It is at its core, it refers to the decoupling of socioeconomic development through ocean-related sectors and activities from environmental and ecosystem degradation. Objectives of this session will be to will draw the attention to the prospect of sea-based economy to promote Bangladesh in a middle-income country through the sustainable use of marine resources. At present, the countries globally are becoming very much concerned about their marine resources to resolve many of the present and future challenges of their economies. Generally, our Bangladeshi ocean is contributing a significant role to its overall socio-economic progress through rising up the economic activities across the country and especially to the coastal zone at southern part. The side event will explore how much God is capable to take off to take off or handle the challenges to become a middle income country through the sustainable development goal. In addition, it has attempted with a closer look to find out the barriers or limitations of these activities from different angles if exist. It will also discuss on policies to exploit blue economy concept in sustainable manner, which is otherwise called as sustainable ocean economy. Today, among our discussion, we will be connected with Mr. Paul Lee Paget, the president of GreenTech Foundation Heroes from California, USA, Ms. Melissa McGinnis, Director of Operation Dream to Realities Incorporation from USA, Dr. Muhammad Muslimuddin, Chairman and Associate Professor of Department of Oceanography, University of Chittagong, and Chairman Blue Green Foundation, Bangladesh, and Dr. Muhammad Abdul Momin Siddiq, Assistant Professor, Department of Oceanography, Noakhali Science and Technology University, Mr. Anwar Haq, Secretary General, Save Our Sea, and our another very resourceful person, Dr. Ghulam Hussain, Regional Coordinator, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Fish, Mississippi State University, USA, and key expert, Fisheries and Aquaculture, former EU BGD Bangladesh Joint Collaboration on Blue Economy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Bangladesh, and former Director General, Bangladesh Fisheries Research Institute. So before we start our presentation and discussion, we want to watch few videos on sustainable ocean economy, and then we'll come to our discussion. Thank you for watching, dear audience and speakers. At this moment, I would like to invite Mr. Paul Lee Paget, President GreenTech Plenary Heroes, to give his speech on these topics. Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Sonny. We stand today at the threshold of the greatest event, both in the light of the United Nations and in the light of all mankind. Good morning from California. I'm Paul Paget. I'm an ambassador and president, GreenTech Foundation Bangladesh, Planetary Heroes, and Dreams to Realities Oceanic Team International. I'm honored to be in the presence of so many like-minded individuals that have arrived to help our dreams become a reality for the initiatives in front of us for generations to come. It's important to every living creature on Earth that we apply serious action to all 17 initiatives in tandem. This could be one of the last chances we have to turn it all around for all of us and future generations. Our oceans and seas cover more than 70% of our Earth's surface. Oceans feed us, regulate our climate, and generate most of the oxygen we breathe. The oceans serve as the foundation for much of the world's economy, supporting sectors from tourism to fisheries to international shipping. Our oceans are experiencing unprecedented threats as the result of human activity and the bad behaviors, lack of resources, education, and the application of action plans. Every year, there have been estimations that over 8 million tons of plastic waste end up in our oceans all over the world. And in parallel with the plastic epidemic, climate change is damaging the ocean's coral reefs and other important ecosystems. With the decimation of 120 million sharks a year, and that being a rough estimate at best, and the threat of overfishing is threatening the stability of fish stocks, along with all the nutrient pollution that's contributing to the creation of dead zones. It's time for a drastic change. A fact that not many of us know, that we are damaging our world's oceans at levels we aren't even for sure of the ramifications of nearly 80% of the world's waste that discharged without any type of treatments into our world's waterways. We feel that the UN tackling these challenges head on while working with governments, businesses, universities, and civil society groups around the world to promote the protection and sustainable management of our precious marine and coastal environments, that we can turn things around quickly. In doing so, we support the achievement of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, particularly Goal 14, Life Below Water. So let me share some facts that are important to know and understand. The ocean nurtures 80% of the life on our planet, generating 50% of the oxygen that we celebrate in our lives every second. The ocean absorbs 25% of all the carbon dioxide emissions, provides food, jobs, and energy for countries around the world. It's our lifeline. We must do everything possible to save our oceans and seas with science-driven and innovative technology solutions already in action, while funding our future innovative ways to reduce the timelines to help ecosystems rebound. But most importantly, to apply immediate action on all 14 bullet points for the SDGs for the United Nations. As tragic as the pandemic has been, I believe it has provided us a huge opportunity to see the ocean bounce back in several months of the shutdown from the virus. We had bioluminescence arrive in areas not seen in over 80 years in certain locations around the world that were in dire situations environmentally. And we saw what the lack of emissions did to clear large cities around the world in record time. We are now all hyper aware of this opportunity to follow through on all 17 SDGs to completion by 2030, making the world a better place for all. And being on the front line as a pilot myself and seeing everything from above, but better yet, working with LJT National Geographic teams for many years now, has put me on the front line of tackling the major issues we now face in our oceans worldwide. We need to hold corporate offenders accountable for their actions while helping them mitigate all the harmful emissions and runoff issues from agriculture to textile industries that are all underfunded and lack proper infrastructures for a greener footprint, along with farmers that need systems to manage and mitigate the monsoon seasons that ravish crops that feed our citizens of Bangladesh. St. Martin is in dire need of our help. With our partners at the IUCN and CARDMA, we have studied the corals and what needs to be implemented for the protection of the only coral island of Bangladesh in the Bay of Bengal. Mr. Lufkar Rahman, CEO of GreenTech, has rallied in mass awareness programs for years, pointing out what problems St. Martin faces right now. Scientists have said that St. Martin's is getting smaller every year instead of growing geologically as it should. And the increasing cyclones and erosion of corals are held partly responsible. If St. Martin's vanishes, what will happen to its population? We do not know. So as we watch sea turtles die in numbers, this is an indication that all is not well. The island exists only because of its coral base. So removal of that coral risk erosion of the beach because of this. St. Martin has lost roughly 25% of its coral reef in the past 7 years. Let me explain a few things on how important coral reefs are, particularly susceptible to human activities, because most coral reefs occur in shallow water near shorelines where human impacts are the greatest. And threats from human activities include oil pollution and heavy metal pollution, sewage and chemical pollution from fertilizer runoff that has led to coral destruction. At present, most sewage from hotels is piped directly into the sea. Construction of buildings and hotels, algae and seagrass removal, mangroves, sand dunes, and hills being cut down and destroyed. The island is dependent on generators that produce heavy pollution and continuous loud sounds which threaten marine life. Overfishing and destructive fishing practices, including cyanide and dynamite, that are getting into these waterways. The sea is often invaded by foreign fish trawlers. The fishing nets, they catch turtles instead of freeing them. The turtles are killed. It's cumbersome for the turtles. So coral extraction under the sea for building materials, they're used as souvenirs for trade. Ocean warming and rising carbon dioxide. Global warming, it increases temperatures in the seas that harms zooxanthellae algae, on which the hard corals depend on daily. Loss of habitat and sanctuary for marine life dependent on the island's ecosystem is critical right now. Scarcity of drinking water for local people and fresh water for ecosystem survival. Sedimentation due to construction, farming and deforestation blanket the coral reefs, smothering the coral, resulting in blocking the sunlight required for photosynthesis by the symbiotic algae. Trash in the water causes destruction of the reefs by blocking sunlight. Sea turtles and other marine animals may eat that plastic, taking it just as if it's a jellyfish, and they eventually die from this. Discarded fishing nets snag on the reefs and strangle thousands of marine life. But I'll tell you, today I'm proud to share with you our coral studies that our teams have planted 157,000 corals that are now thriving in nutrient-rich protected estuaries. Again, proving we can help these crippled ecosystems back to life with very well-rounded science and action plans readily available for St. Martin. I'm going to just say it in one sentence. Save the ocean, protect our future. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs as we call them, guides and encourages us to live more sustainable at work and at home. And this is by changing our consumption patterns, using active transport such as cycling and buying local foods. Everyone is welcome to participate, and every little step helps inform your family, your friends, and your community about simple actions they can take in their daily lives. With our GreenTech Foundation Planetary Heroes of Better Bangladesh teams, we have been working at a feverish pace to help with plogging programs that the citizens of Bangladesh, along with other countries that go out daily and they lightly jog while picking up trash in their local communities. Another exciting program running in parallel to our plogging efforts is plugging, which is part of the initiative to plant trees that are already adopted programs in Bangladesh. The SDGs can only be realized with strong global partnerships and cooperation. A successful development agenda requires inclusive partnerships at the global, regional, and national and local levels built upon principles and values and upon a shared vision and shared goals, placing people and the planet at the center of the SDGs. Many countries require official development assistance to encourage growth and trade. Aid levels have fallen sharply, and donor countries have not lived up to their pledge to apply action plans to ramp up development finance for these issues we face. Our teams and I believe that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the global economy is projected to contract sharply by 3% in 2020 to possibly get worse in 2021. And this could be experiencing its worst recession since the Great Depression. Strong international cooperation is needed now more than ever to ensure that these countries have the means to recover from the pandemic, build back better, and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. GreenTech Foundation Bangladesh is delighted to support the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs as we call them. These 17 goals set forth a challenge for humanity to decouple economic growth from climate change, poverty, and inequality. With the 169 targets that form the core of the 2030 Agenda, they balance the economic, social, and ecological dimensions of sustainable development and place the fight against poverty and sustainable development on the same agenda for the first time in history. The SDGs are to be achieved around the world and by all UN member states by 2030. This means that all states are called upon equally to play their part in finding shared solutions to the world's urgent challenges. Bangladesh is also required to implement the goals on a national basis. In addition, incentives are to be created to encourage non-governmental actors to make an increasingly active contribution to sustainable development. GreenTech Foundation supports its member institutions, universities, research institutes, civil society organizations, and other knowledge centers around the country to play a leading role in sustainable development in 4 ways. 1, as research centers. 2, as key partners in problem solving alongside government, business, and civil society. 3, as educators. 4, as social entrepreneurs in solution initiatives. With the climate emergency full upon us, we have no time to waste. The answer to our existential crisis is swift, decisive, and scaled up action and solidarity among nations. We have to act now. We have the extensive amount of ocean work GreenTech Foundation and Planetary Heroes has been involved with for 20 years now and is ready to present these measures, boosting ambition and calling to action from the hands-on work that we have done rebuilding important coral reef systems, holding corporations accountable for their business practices that affect our planet in many adverse ways, from CO2 emissions and the runoff of chemicals leaching into our waterways that lead to our oceans and seas. Human intervention is needed to ensure the persistence of the world's coral reefs, which are of incalculable value to human well-being, national economies, and future wonder. Recovery is the key to having the reefs in the future. And with our science teams and the educational programs that are being built around the pandemic, we're ready to be further funded and launched as these amazing meetings of the minds are happening today. That's why it's important right now to fund and act upon the worldwide search for corals that have seen such hotspots of resilience, where corals have already adapted to the extremes of heat and acidity that are likely to prevail on most reefs in the coming century. The idea is that such corals, or some of their critical genes, or the symbiotic algae that nourish them, can be transplanted to more vulnerable reefs, bolstering their chances of survival. And we have hope that there are coral communities that can cope with the stresses that were thrown at the reefs. And perhaps corals have been given less credit than they deserve in terms of their ability to tolerate and adapt stress. So plan A is to reduce emissions, solve climate change, and take away the threat to the reefs. But we have to prepare for the possibility of plan F, and that's dealing with global reef meltdown. Everyone's worried about intervention, and rightly so, because the larger the scale of reef restoration, the larger the ecological ripple effects. So let's hope that we don't need to go there, but let's understand the science in case we do. We have teams in place right now to implement in the search, but better yet, what we have already have in place, and that the corals we have currently planted on the reefs around the world are having tremendous positive effects and growth. Climate pressures are intensifying, and the time frames are short, so coral reefs are confronting not just rising heat and acidity, but also declining oxygen levels and increased intense storms and predators. So, as a result, over 50% of the world's coral reefs have died in the last 30 years, and up to 90% may die by 2050. Very few pristine coral reefs still exist. The impact of our changing climate on coral reefs was manifested by the third global bleaching event in 2015 and 16. Coral reefs provide food to millions of humans. Corals, like trees, provide three-dimensional structure and substrate to house and feed fish and other marine animals that humans eat. GreenTech Foundation, along with Planetary Heroes and our alliances with BIMRAD and Dhaka University, along with Dreams to Reality's oceanic teams in America, can make a massive immediate impact while being the voice for the millions of voiceless around the world that need our immediate help. So we are proud to stand side by side with all of our global partners and what will be the greatest humanitarian service ever delivered by the United Nations, GreenTech Foundation, and Planetary Heroes. In closing, TEAM stands for Together, Everybody Achieves More. We have to act now. So I wanted to say thank you to my colleagues and everybody around the world that's working hard for these initiatives to become fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paul, for your nice speech, and definitely focus the main everyone. At this moment, I would like to request Dr. Mohammad Musliuddin, Chairman and Associate Professor of Department of Oceanography, University of Chittagong, and Chairman Blue Green Foundation Bangladesh, to give his speech. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lutfur Rahman, and I am very much thankful to GreenTech Foundation Bangladesh for organizing such a very time-demanding sessions as a side event of UN celebrating 75 years, and now it is in the sessions. And we know due to pandemic, UN is now organizing most of its programs online, so we are also organizing the same online. This is a crucial issue. UN is not celebrating only 75 years. UN has already declared this decade, 2021 to 2030, is the decade of the science, ocean science. So this is a critical time for us to think about the ocean. Mr. Powell has already described what is the importance and the crucial importance of the ocean and oceanography, and why should we take care of it. Especially for Bangladesh, I think, as a maritime country, and we have a huge population, we have huge demand to fulfill not only protein of all of the UN Sustainable Goal and 17 goals. All of the goals are relevant with the ocean, oceanic resources, and the environment of the oceans. As he said, it regulates the climate and it supplies the economy. It is the lifeline of the economy, and it is the place which can control over the environment and the weather and our future. That's why I say the Bay of Bengal we need for the future Bangladesh wants. The development of Bangladesh is the development of the Bay of Bengal is the development of Bangladesh, because Bangladesh is a very limited land resourceful country, but we have a huge opportunity for the ocean, for the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is a virgin place. It is untouched and it is very dark because we know very less about Bay of Bengal. We know only 5% of the surface of the ocean, but we know nothing about Bay of Bengal because of our limitation, because of our careless, because of our lackings of programs by the national and international collaborations. but it is good things that government has taken initiatives, especially after the victory of our maritime boundary with our neighbors, Myanmar and India. And Bangladesh government has initiated maritime affairs unit under the foreign ministry and blue economic cell in most of the ministries. It has established the Bangladesh Oceanographic Research Institute in Cox's Bazar, and in many of the universities has initiated Department of Oceanography, who are actually trying to develop some skilled people in oceanography who can lead the challenges, because most of the people in our country are unaware. They are not actually ocean informed citizen. That's why the most of our estuaries like Kornufuli or the Meghna River estuary, most of the estuaries are in critical situations because of the pollution, because of the overfishing or over exploitation of some of the resources. Again, under exploration of some non-traditional species, non-traditional resources. So that's why the prime and the most important things, we need to know what really we have and how much we have and where we have. So we need to have a pin picture of the distribution of our resources, and then how much the resources are available, and then which area are critical, ecologically critical, environmentally critical, or critical in value available. Like we have huge resources, huge potentiality for our ecotourism, ocean-based ecotourism, but there is a mismanagement of the ecotourism, and that's why the San Martin Island, the only coral island, is in danger, because we cannot see any coral from the over water. We have to go a long way inside the water to see the coral. But in 1996, when I was a student, graduate student at the University of Chittagong, I went to visit San Martin as a fieldwork, as a part of fieldwork. I was amazed, because San Martin was really a fantastic area for a tourist attraction. But now there is no corals. You will see black stones over there. So why it's happened? Because of the mismanagement, because of our lack of our regulations, our strategy, our priority programs. So another threatening things nowadays, we have oceanography department in many of the universities. We are making graduates and postgraduates, but we do not have a strategy and policy by the government how to employ and utilize these resources. Just for an example, I can say 1 week before, I was informed that the Khulna Krishi University, Agriculture University, they were appointing some lecturers, faculties in the Department of Oceanography, but no student passed from the oceanography was given admit card for their recruitment. Why it happened? Because we are aware, but we are not responsible. Along with our awareness, we have to build a responsible mentality, how to utilize all of the ocean manpower, skilled manpower, for the benefit, for the betterment of the blue economic development of my country. So I should say we need two levels of people. One is skilled people, experts people. Another, we need to develop the ocean literate society, so people can make that decision. They can communicate for ocean. They can talk to ocean. They can lead their business considering the oceanic environment. As you know, how far we are, how far away from the ocean we are, doesn't matter. We are connected with the ocean anyhow. So I would appreciate if GreenTech Foundation, along with other organizations, everyone should concentrate to promote the ocean literacy, ocean importance, ocean education. Again, we have to take initiatives to utilize our ocean experts in the appropriate places, and then only we can go forward. we can advance forward for utilizing the ocean resources in a sustainable manner, in a circular manner, in a green manner. So thank you very much for inviting me to talk in this very important session, and I really love to be with you and with your assistance, with your cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. for your speech. We actually talk about the sustainability of the ocean, and definitely we have to focus on the ecology and other things of the ocean as well. So let us watch another video which can be give us some information about the sustainable blue economy of ocean.
Food, jobs, development, shipping, tourism, new medicines, innovation and technology, clean renewable energy, our ocean offers all this and more. This blue economy means hope and prosperity for all. The world's ocean economy is currently estimated at around 1.3 trillion euros. By 2030, it is forecast to more than double. Aquaculture, offshore and ocean energy, blue biotech, and tourism all hold huge untapped capacity, especially in developing countries. Training and education will be key to success. We need to equip a new generation with the necessary blue skills. And we need investment in sustainable solutions. Quick gains must be discarded in favor of long-term goals. To responsibly use our shared resource for both present and future generations. To harvest the full potential of the blue economy in a smart, sustainable, and inclusive way, how will we reach across borders, sectors, and disciplines to make it reality? How do we ensure that the blue economy doesn't just work for us, but also for our ocean?
Thank you for watching. We will now go to the Secretary General of Save Our Sea, Mr. Anarul Haq Chaudhry, to give his speech on his observation for the sustainable ocean economy. So, floor is to Mr. Anarul Haq, Secretary General Save Our Sea. Anarul Haq, you can speak.
जी जी Are you hearing me?
Please go ahead. Yes, go ahead,
Hello?
please.
Yes, we can hear you. You can start.
Okay, thank you. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Good evening to all. Firstly, I want to convey my greetings to Mr. Lutfur Rahman, CEO of GreenTech Foundation for CEO of GreenTech Foundation for arranging such an event at 75 UNG. TJ, I'm starting.
Please go ahead. We are listening.
Yes, yes. My respect to distinguished guest, Professor Muslimuddin, Chairman Department of Oceanography, University of Chittagong, and Dr. Abdul Momin Siddiqui, Chairman, Noakhali Science and Technology University, and Dr. MD Ghulam Hussain. I am representing a marine conservation organization. I am representing a marine conservation organization that is Save Our Sea, working in Bangladesh for long 6 years. Many of us say about Bangladesh that there are huge opportunities here. Bangladesh can be developed country through ocean economy or blue economy so quickly. As a rights group, our observation based on experience is different. Firstly, I cite an example of England. England has formed a company, British Petroleum, in 1909. By this company, they destroyed almost biological resources of our Atlantic Ocean by offshore mining. When they realized healthy sea, healthy life, they formed another subsidiary company, namely Blue Economy, namely Blue Venture in 2003. The damage has already been done. Like UK, Bangladesh is going to be forward for gaining economy from ocean. But scientifically, you people do not get any benefit by destroying marine ecosystem. We have to aware, conserve, and serious about livable water, that is SDG 14. Only these three words symbolizes many and many. So if ensure ecological services first, we can get economic benefit from ocean. For example, if we take about coral reef, mangrove, coastal wetland, waste management, habitat nursery areas, then economical services is been easier. But reality is, Bangladesh has no marine special planning, that is MSP. Bangladesh has not even started ocean exploration or exploitation. We do not know what kind of biological resources we have, how many species of different animals, how many fish species, how many we can harvest, seaweed. Normal question arises, is it underfishing or overfishing? Some vested quarter of people who are the part of Bangladesh government, they understand ocean economy to mean navigation, port management, cruise tourism, or offshore mining. As a rights body, Savers is trying to make them understand ocean science. We are effectively working with the local community for ocean education. We are also dedicated to build a blue marine economy through protection and effective management of marine biodiversity. And I am really delighted to have such an event. Especially Mr. Paul is a smart speaker and he vividly speaking, and we can understand. Thanks to all oceanographer and expert, and especially I thanks again to the CEO of GreenTech Foundation, and I hope Bangladesh will understand, especially the part of government who are the really tact with the government, and we bear conservation first, enjoy later. This is our slogan: conservation first, enjoy later. Thank you all to have such an event. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar, for your speech, short speech, very focused speech. So at this moment, I would like to request and welcome Mr. M. Ghulam Hussain, a coordinator, Asia Regional, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Fish, Mississippi State University, USA, and key expert, fisheries and aquaculture, former and EU Bangladesh joint collaboration on blue economy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Bangladesh, and former Director General Bangladesh Fisheries Research Institute to give his speech. Dr. Ghulam Hussain. Can you please unmute now and then unmute, please?
Is it okay?
Yes, okay now. It's okay now. You can speak.
Thank you, Mr. Latur Rahman, the CEO of GreenTech Foundation Bangladesh. And the other colleague here, I just to say hello to Dr. Paul Budget from USA, Dr. Muslimuddin from the University, Mr. Anwar Haq, and Mr. Siddiq from the Noakhali Science and Technical University. Good evening and good morning. As Mr. Lutfur Rahman already said about me, I was luckily involved as European Union Bangladesh Joint Collaboration Blue Economy during the 2016-2018 under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I had an opportunity to work with the University, Cologne University, Dhaka University, and many stakeholders, the government, as well as those have been involved with the blue economy in Bangladesh. We have found this blue economy as an important issue of the SDG 14, life below water. And I thank Mr. Lutfur Rahman for organizing this side event during the event of the UN 75-year celebration as a sustainable ocean economy to achieve UN goals, SDG, approaching the challenges. During our time of study, in concern with the government, we have identified 26 sectors of the economy in Bangladesh. Under this, a long list of the sectors, we summarized that maybe 10 to 12 sectors will be the most major area to intervene for the future development. Among these, fisheries and aquaculture and marine fisheries and aquaculture is one of the important sectors we identified. As an expert of fisheries, I have given a lot of stress over this. So today, I will just concentrate most of my information and the ideas about the under the blue economy, how optimistic we are for the marine fisheries and aquaculture, particularly marine aquaculture. As already Dr. Paul Paget and Dr. Muslimuddin briefed about the whole blue economy of the global as well as Bangladesh, it is a very promising area of intervene with the SDGs we also identified. And in Bangladesh, you know, Dr. Paget, that Bengali cannot survive without fish and rice and this kind of food. So our dream, we develop Bangladesh fisheries, particularly freshwater aquaculture, in the world, is the number 5th country in the world at the moment. It's a huge revolution, and it is one of the lead country in the Asia Pacific region. And you know, fisheries growth is more than 5% now, and aquaculture growth is more than 8%. So it comparatively in the region, we are one of the leading nation for particularly freshwater aquaculture. If we come to the consensus of the maritime boundary have been settled during the negotiation with the Myanmar in 2012 and with the India 2014, Bangladesh obviously has got a big victory of owning the 118,813 square kilometer area, a huge area, about more than 60% of the our whole Bangladesh land. So it is a big achievement. Everybody was very happy, and we are very happy for that. So in this boundary, in this area, we have territorial waters, we have exclusive economic zones, as well as continental shelf. It's a huge area up to the, the 354 nautical mile. So in this area of ocean or the sea, we have coastal waters, we have near shore and offshore areas where we are thinking the marine and aquaculture sector is not thoroughly established in Bangladesh. How we can go for that to touch in the light of the blue economy. So if I mention that 3 ecosystem or areas can be covered for developing fisheries and aquaculture. First is the coastal area. Coastal in Bangladesh is covering about 20% of the marine water areas, which is really a wonderful opportunity there to start marine aquaculture. Marine aquaculture, in Bangladesh, except the shrimp, until today, if we say total aquaculture production in Bangladesh, 2.3 million metric ton. Mainly the marine freshwater fisheries sharing about 56% of the total production of Bangladesh. Marine aquaculture is just contributing about 5%, so that we are lagging behind of this. So if we think on that, Bangladesh has a lot of good marine fishes like sea bream, like the barramundi, like pomfret, like other mullets. Those are fin fish can be cultured in our areas along with the shrimp to go ahead for their breeding system development as well as development of farming. I know the teaching university, Dr. Shahadat and Dr. Chaudhary, Said Chaudhary, they are working on that. Some other scientists also, they have identified a lot of domesticated species could be developed for mariculture. So mariculture is obviously an area of what is called subsector to touch for development under the blue economy. In mariculture, we can go for the marine shrimp farming is a traditional system now. So like the USA, like Hawaii, if we can develop the SPF, pathogen-free shrimp and go for the semi-intensive culture, I think we can boost up our production per hectare, maybe more than 3,000 to 4,000 kilograms, which is being done in other countries. But our production average is below 300 kilograms. So that there is an area for intervening for introducing the SPF shrimp to develop in Bangladesh. From our shrimp can be domesticated, we can develop genetically this SPF in our land, not to bring from Hawaii. Secondly, you can go for marine, particularly crab culture. There are, we have a very good quality crab species like mud crab, and already in Bangladesh, mud crab soft shell farming is started already. Some of the area of the Maheshkali as well as in Shamganj, Shakir area. So there is opportunity that crab culture could come up and we can develop crab breeding as well. Although Bangladesh Fish Institute as well as in conjunction with the Chittagong University, they have already initially successful in crab breeding, but they must work more to make it a mass seed production like Myanmar as well as Thailand to bring to this area to come. Then we can go for I think mollusk culture, as well as particularly for seaweed culture, is a promising area for Bangladesh, particularly as you, Dr. Pejot and as well Dr. Muslimuddin mentioned about San Martin area. I have identified, and the university also identified, there are some species of seaweed over there, which could be a wonderful farming system may come in future to develop for exporting as well as for consumption, like Japan and other countries. So seaweed is another area of intervening that. Then we can go for maybe some other, the mollusk culture as well as micro plant culture as well to achieve on that. So these are the mariculture area. So our marine fisheries in Bangladesh, mostly, as you know, I can tell you that about 86 to 87% catch being associated with the artisanal fisheries, small scale fishing, which are mostly we have 68,000 to 70,000 boat. Either 50% are government certified as well as uncertified. They are working about there. Only 14% catch is being done by the industrial trawl, which is very minimum. About $100 or $110 are working about there. So in future, there is a chance that why you not go for deep sea fishing? This is an enormous opportunity for Bangladesh. On that reason, university and other university and as well as Bangladesh Institute are trying to identify some of the new area of fishing zone to identify first, because we are now limited to some of the shallow areas we are fishing now. We are now destroying our biodiversity as well. So that if we go for some other, what is called the stock assessment, to identify new areas where we proceed for fishing more. And in future, maybe we can go beyond our boundary to catch fish like Maldives, like other countries, like Sri Lanka, like India, so that we can go for long line fishing as well as deep water fishing to bring that fish to Bangladesh for achieve huge money for Bangladesh. Trillions and billions of money could be achieved from that area. So this is the area where government should come up. We have given an idea to do that. So these are the areas. So that I agree with many scientists that at the moment, Bangladesh has now declared MPA, main protected area. I visited during this period of my European Union assignment to the France with Dr. Pierre Feuillard, my team leader of the group. And we have seen France has a huge area of marine protection already declared. As well as if you go to Japan, you will see they have a Great Barrier Reef, one of the largest marine protected area they have declared. Marine protected area, it is a consensus that at least 10% of the maritime boundary could be under this MPA. So that if we have a maritime area about 118,000 square kilometer, so if you 10% will be more than 11,000 square kilometer. So it will be a huge area to be under this MPA, which will allow us to sustain the habitat for the fish for spawning, for allowing fish to grow there, and to recruit in the naturally in the sea for making our stock most useful for our fishing. Otherwise, we'll never achieve that goal. I think Dr. Muslimuddin will agree with that. Government should sit down together how to establish the MPA for that. Very, very important. And without that, it is impossible. Then if we say, Mr. Anwar Haq already mentioned about SPA, the MSP, sorry, Marine Special Planning. Marine Special Planning is one of the tools for the blue economy, where all the resources, including fisheries and the other sectors, to give us what is called holistic approach for developing, sharing with the other countries, neighboring countries, government, policymakers, everybody should have that as MSP to bring together for the development of the blue economy. So these are some areas I thought we should come about. And then in the last or least, I can tell blue biotechnology. Blue biotechnology is one of the important tool like other biotechnology. Now, COVID-19 is a problem. We could not yet achieve the goal of having the vaccines. So world is suffering. So all the biotechnologists and virologists are working to develop it. But for blue biotechnology can give you a sustainability for develop a lot of products like pharmaceuticals, like fish oil, like anti-cancerous medicine, as well as antibody, antibiotic. As you know, you will be happy to know that, the horseshoe crab has a particular element in its body which is good for the developing the corona vaccine, and they are using particular blood of the horseshoe crab. This is called blue blood. Dr. Muslimuddin, you will agree for that. This is the opportunity we have also in Bangladesh. In future, maybe we can collect. This is the way biotechnology can help in future to boost our economy. So I think futurism aquaculture is a booming area, and we are expecting if government sit together. One of the problem in Bangladesh is we have no coordination at all. Dr. Muslimuddin already mentioned there are a lot of oceanographers in Bangladesh. There are a lot of graduates, a lot of scientists already developed, but government has no plan how to improve them, how to utilize them. Because the same situation during we come out as graduate from fisheries, we had no job at all. And I was leading Bangladesh Institute long years, and I have seen that gap. We have to see how the educated manpower should be utilized for developing a particular sector, like blue economy. Blue economy is a very huge sector. We have to work together. I should tell all the departments, ministries, sit down together to protect our what is called resource like ocean economy, as well as the San Martin ideas. Dr. Paul Paget already given us the destruction going on. Without that, it is impossible. Only talking is not enough. We have to sit down, we have to plan, we have to implement. And let us go for our government is very positive for the blue economy, I know. The present government is trying to bring this to the table for the development ocean economy, as well as to progress the country as a whole. I think these are the points I like to mention here. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Thank you very much, Rahman.
Thank you, sir, for your very good sharing your information. You have said rightly that this government, the present government, is giving very importance for the exploring the unexplored blue economy from the Bay of Bengal. So we have to work together, and we have to focus very concentratedly about the resources which are available in our bay. So thank you for your valuable speech. We also had Dr. Abdul Momin Siddiqui, but unfortunately due to the interruption of internet, he could not join. He just gave me a message that he is unable to join at this and give his speech at this moment. However, we will listen him from him next time. But before we end our session, let us see a few videos. Recently, European Union, they have published one report on blue economy. Also, there was a high-level panel session last few months back. They also discussed on very vital issue on blue economy. Let us see what they say. First, the European Union report on blue economy. Let us see. Thank you very much. Actually, we are very close to the end of this session. Before we end, again, I would like to thank all of our speakers today, and we are very grateful to you to make this session success. And hopefully, by this today's discussion, our country and as a whole United Nations will get some masses from for the Bangladesh ocean economy as a whole, the global ocean economy, and we will try to make proceedings of the session to send it to the United Nations as a side event of this on blue economy and on Sustainable Development Goal 14. So before we finish today, let us see the last 2 minutes video on ocean economy, and by this video we'll close the session today. Thank you very much again for your participation. Thank you.
Most of us come to the ocean to escape from work. So it might surprise you to find out how much our oceans contribute to our economic activity and give us many other benefits. Some of it's easy to measure, like fishing, for example, is a major industry. The oceans are also a big source of ingredients for pharmaceuticals, food supplements, biofuels, and cosmetics, industries with huge economic potential. And in many places, like here in the Caribbean, tourism is a major part of the economy. All of these industries rely on a healthy ocean. These things are easy enough to measure in dollars, but the ocean brings us an incredible range of benefits that don't have a price tag. Coastal habitats like barrier reefs and mangroves protect us from storms and flooding. Oceans absorb carbon dioxide and regulate our climate. They break down pollution. These things are what economists refer to as natural capital, and using it carefully is one part of what's sometimes called the green economy. The problem is, traditional economics doesn't account for natural capital, making some ocean benefits seem like zero. And if we see their value as zero, they're not included in equations and decisions, and sometimes the wrong decisions are made. That's why we're still damaging our oceans and losing species and coral reefs at an alarming pace. You can play an active role in making sure the true value of our oceans are counted. Choose sustainable seafood products. At the beach, stay in environmentally responsible hotels. If you live near the coast, take an active role in preserving our coastal habitats like mangroves and marshes. If you're a decision maker, be sure all the benefits of oceans are counted. It's vital that we all become more aware of the true value of our oceans.